What up, y'all? It's your boy, Ounce Lorio, with an episode of Analyzing. Today, we're sticking with football, continuing with football. Gonna get in the wild card, okay? Wild card weekend just happened. We're gonna get over those games. Then we're gonna get into a divisional preview of the games and everything in between the lines of what happened on and off the field this week in NFL, okay? But let's start off in the AFC as the Bills beat the number 7 seeded Broncos 31-7, okay? And before this game, I heard a lot of media members, a lot of chatter saying, watch out for those Broncos. And I didn't buy it, bro. I didn't buy it. I told y'all about Bo Nix. He scored the first touchdown, and then he went 31 unanswered points. Okay, we're going to get to him a little bit later. But those 31 unanswered points, thanks to Josh Allen, who went for 20 completions, 26 out of 26 attempts, 272 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 87.8 QBR, and a passer rating of 135.4. But a bigger reason that the Bills won, in my opinion, was the run game. The run game of the Bills as a whole finished with 210 yards, with James Cook having 120 of those yards with 23 carries and 1 touchdown. This let the Bills keep the ball for 41 minutes time of possession. So the Broncos defense, they were pretty tired at the end. They only got 2 sacks on Allen, and that's all they could foster with the amount of time. I mean, not the amount of time, like just how tired they were. Those 41 minutes, so I can't blame them that much. But Bo Nix, like I said, bro, started off well. The touchdown pass to Troy Franklin, but then he just disappeared. And I get it. He's a rookie, so I'm not going to destroy him and go out on him and say we expect this or this, because I honestly didn't expect that much. Expected him. The season he's had well enough for a rookie, so it's okay. It's okay. It was versus the Bills in Buffalo. It was a playoff game. So, it's okay. But I just seen a lot of people hyping him up, saying, hey, they're probably going to beat the Buffalo. Like, nah, bro. No, calm down. And these were the results. 13 for 22, 44 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interception, 68.4 QBR, and a 93.7 passer rating. Okay, Cortland Sutton was the main dude for him. He had 9 targets, catching 5 of those. But also he had no help from the run game, bro. Like 79 yards, shut down by the Bills defense. They had 2 sacks. But the Bills defense really won by shutting down the run game and being on the field for less than 18 minutes. That's how you win, bro. Your defense barely gets on the field and your offense is always on the field. I think that's a really big reason why the Broncos won. Why the Bills won. Because 42, right? I think it's 41 minutes of possession. That's just a lot of time. A lot of times Broncos defense is on the field, and a lot of time that the Bills defense wasn't on the field. So I just correlates, and I got to the win. Overall, I expected, the Bills to win. I ain't gonna lie. If Josh and the Bills lost this game, I would, like some analysts were thinking, I would have crucified Josh. I would have crucified the Bills. Because how you gonna lose in Buffalo to the 7th seed Broncos with the rookie quarterback, bro? Like, I would have crucified. I've been like his MVP discussion. He's not even in discussion no more. He's out. Like, this is going to be one of the biggest playoff failures the season that the Bills were having. Like, nah, bro. If they would have lost, all hell would have been loose. But they won, and in dominant fashion. So they move on. The Ravens versus the Steelers, okay? The Ravens won 28-14. Not as close as we thought, okay? Or I thought, specifically. Baltimore dominated. They went up 21-0. Then towards the end, Pittsburgh sparked something. Sparked a little, I wouldn't say comeback, but they just sparked some offense with Van Jefferson and the pick and touchdowns, but it was too late. Like I predicted, Lamar and Henry, they went off. Lamar passing was pretty good, 16 for 21, 175 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 132 passer rating. But his running did more of the damage. He had 15 carries, 81 yards, 5 yards per carry, along with Henry's 26 carries, 186 yards, 2 touchdowns. Okay, this was thanks to the read option that the Ravens ran that killed the Steelers as the offense, as the outside linebacker to the defensive ends, which is T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith, they crashed, focused on Henry most of the time. And that gave Lamar the freedom to pull it out a ton, which got them loads of gains. With Flowers out, Ravens went more 12 personnel, which is 1 running back, 2 tight ends, with Likely and Andrews getting 5 catches between them. Shout out to the O-line, Ravens O-line doing their job. Steelers defense was just getting ran through most of the time. Gave up almost 300 yards rushing. Landon Roberts was the only Pittsburgh Steeler who was hustling towards the end, who was actually trying to tackle Henry. And, I get it, bro. Ain't nobody want to tackle that guy. But if you're an NFL professional player, bro, you got to show some wit, some will to get up there, some film, so that the other people see, other teams see it, and they be like, we want this guy. But I don't know, man. I wouldn't want to tackle Henry, but you got to show something, which has been a criticism, and we're going to get to that later, of Mike Tomlin's team. So we're going to get to that later. Okay, Steelers or Russ on paper looked good. He went 20 for 29, 270 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 121.3 passer rating. But he missed a few reads. Pickens had 5 catches and a touchdown, but it was near the end. No run game for them, only 11 attempts for 29 yards, so no help for Russ there. But they didn't run a lot because, the Ravens defense, we know, is the number 1 run defense, so still probably wouldn't have gained anything. Ravens defense, apart from they did very well. Apart from the 2 touchdowns that they gave up, those were pretty bad. But, they let their guard down because, it was 21-0. So they're just like, they're not putting that much focus in it. But it is a big deal, low-key. It is a big deal because if I'm Harbaugh, I'm telling him, hey, this is the Steelers, okay? But when it's the Chiefs-Bills, after one time, when it's 21-7, they might get it rolling. And then next 5 minutes, boom, we look up, it's 21-21. So we got to wake up and not do that again. When it comes to the Chiefs and the Bills, especially the Chiefs, dude. Especially the Chiefs, 21-0, we got to make it 42-0 and just snap the necks of the Chiefs so we make sure that they're dead. Because we know what the Chiefs do. Oh, my God, bro. The Chiefs, they could somehow just pull it out their ass and then they win the game. So if I'm Harbaugh, that is what I'm telling the defense. But overall, I thought it would be closer. But it didn't really surprise me because the Ravens are a better team. Like I said it in my preview, this is a championship material team, and the Steelers are the same team that they've been the last 7 years. They're just above average football purgatory team. That's literally what they are. Which leads me to Mike Tomlin. Don't get me wrong, okay? I think he's good, but he's not great. Regular season, he's great. Playoffs, he's 8-11 for his career, counting this loss. He has not won a playoff game since 2016. He is 0-6 since the AFC Championship game that they lost to the Patriots in 2016. I think it's time for a change for both parties, okay? He's been there since 2007, which is like 18 years. So it might be a bit disrespectful, and he has a Super Bowl, okay? So it might be a bit disrespectful, and he's never had a losing season, okay? So I'm putting all out there for I get on to him. So it might be disrespectful. It might be a bit disrespectful to fire him, quotations, fire him. But they got to do something. They should mutually part ways, in my opinion, bro. It's time for change. Not because he is bad, but because he is not great, bro. He's not been great these last few seasons. He's in the middle, these past 7 years, bro. Since 2016, is that 7 years? Or 8 years. He's been in the middle. His team since 2016 haven't been bad enough to be a top 5 draft pick, but never good enough to make a run, let alone win a playoff game. Just stuck in mediocrity. And I think he has a lot of fault in it by the way his teams dip and the personnel he picks, after Roethlisberger, him and the GM at the time, it's Kevin Colbert, and now it's Omar Khan. They pick Pickett, and then choosing Fields and Russ as his QBs. I thought we would improve them, and they're kind of the same. And then the diva wide receivers that he picks. Brown, Deontay Johnson right now, who just got released from the Texans. Juju, Chase Claypool, all these guys, bro. He has some culpability in this. And I think Pitt and Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh fans, they're getting tired, bro. And guys like Ben Johnson, Vrabel, well, not anymore Vrabel. He just got hired by the Patriots, but Aaron Glenn, all these guys are available. And they can make the push to hire them if they don't want Tomlin anymore. Someone new, someone fresh, someone younger. I think they just need a change. And maybe Tomlin needs a change too. Maybe he goes somewhere else and gets a different personnel, gets a different feeling. Maybe he gets better too. I don't know, bro. I just think them two people need to separate after a long time. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. Supposedly, what's his name? Schefter said that there's changes coming, but I don't think they're going to fire him. They should just mutually part ways. Moving on to the Texans versus the Chargers, as the Texans won 32-12. I mean, I'm disappointed that I picked the Bolts. They're the same old Chargers, always charging. But I'm going to give credit to the Chargers defense because I think they were the only unit that played well for the Chargers. They only gave up 2 touchdowns, and that was after the turnovers from the Chargers offense. They had 3 sacks, 5 QB hits, forced 2 fumbles, and an interception. They are not the reason they lost this game. And they played well enough to win. They were really killing CJ in the offense the first 2 quarters. However, Houston, they gained momentum after that 34-yard scramble pass to Hutchinson. That woke them up, and then they go on to score on a Nico Collins touchdown, and they got better from there. CJ finished 22 out of 23. 22-33, my bad. 22 out of 33, 282 yards, passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 90.7 passer rating. He is 2-1 in the playoffs. Nico caught 122 of those yards on 7 receptions, 8 targets with a touchdown. Joe Mixon ran for 25 carries, 106 yards, and the game-sealing touchdown. So at the end, they caught fire and they got it going. The opposite end, Justin Herbert in the offense stunk up the whole place, the whole game. He went 14 for 32, 242 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions, 13 QBR, and a passer rating of 40.9. Now, the only interception that was not his fault was the third one that bounced off of Will Dissly, the tight end, into Stingley's hands. So, that wasn't really his fault. But the other one's awful, bro. Especially the pick 6 that went right over Ladd McConkey's head. And it just went right into Eric Murray. His O-line didn't help at all as he got sacked 4 times and got hit 9 times. The run game only had 50 yards, and apart from Ladd McConkey going bonkers for 9 catches, 197 yards, and the touchdown, the receiving core besides him had 5 catches between them. So just terrible and disappointing. I will give credit to Houston defense and myself. As I said, the defense was top 5 statistically, so they would cause some problems, and they obviously did. They did with their 4 sacks and picks. How many picks they have? 4 sacks and their 4 picks. So, mind you, bro. All-Pro Stingley with 2 of those picks, and Eric Murray with 7 total tackles and a pick. Bunch of criticism and memes have been targeting Herbert after the game, which should be the case, bro. He is a top 5 talent for sure, but he is 0-2 in the playoffs, and he's played for his 5th year? Because he played 2020, he dropped 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. Yeah, so his 5th year, and he's 0-2 in the playoffs. He's played dreadful in the playoffs. So, yes, he did. Only the excuse is that he only has Ladd McConkey, which is true. Quentin Johnson, I don't fancy him at all. And the Chargers do need to acquire more skill positions, what they should do in the off season. But he was the main reason they lost. Those 3 other picks were on him. He missed numerous throws. All the criticism is warranted and valid. Not top 5 QB right now, just straight up. And talent, yes, but right now, nope. He's in the top 10, 12 range, and he's in the below tier of quarterbacks, which is below Joe Burrow, below Josh Allen. I'd say right now, especially if Lamar wins Super Bowl, Patrick and Lamar, they're in their own tier, and then below them is Josh and Joe, and then below them is probably where Herbert and guys who else would be on there? I guess Dak would probably be on there, and guys like that. They're below that position. Very disappointed. Well, like Broncos well. Very disappointed in the Chargers. I thought on paper they're better than the Texans, and they just did a classic thing. The Chargers charged, bro. Like, I thought this would be the year they win, bro. Like, but no, they just no. Disappointed. But let's move on to the NFC on Sunday, where the Eagles beat the Packers 22-10. I thought it would be closer than what happened, to be honest, but the offenses looked sluggish thanks to the defenses. A defensive battle for sure. I think the game swung Philly's way in the kickoff fumble, which was Green Bay's ball. They recovered it, but they gave it to Philly. They gave Philly the call and the ball, and they never gave it back. Philly never gave it back. The whole momentum swung their way, and that pretty much called the game. I did think Jalen Hurts played a bit rusty, and I give him a pass. Okay, I seen chatter about people criticizing him or saying, "Are we even confident in him after that?" And let's slow down. Let's slow down a bit from the media, okay? Because bro hasn't played since week 16. He's been in concussion protocol. It was versus a top 6 Green Bay defense, so he was rusty. He wasn't even that bad, low-key. And we're gonna get to that. He wasn't even that bad. Just rusty, coming back from concussion protocol. So let's give him, I'm gonna give him a little pass, okay? But people also saying that, he played well. He did not play well. He was rusty. Y'all wrong, okay? It wasn't bad, like I was saying, but he did miss throws, and he was hesitant to run when he had the chance to run. He just didn't. And he barely got back. He's rusty. He got to warm up, but it's got to be quick, okay? I give him a pass for this game. But next game versus the Rams, we're going to get into that later in the preview, versus the Rams, he's got to be on it because it's the playoffs, and you can't have the same excuse for the second game, okay, in the playoffs. So you got to hurry up. But he did finish this game 13 out of 21, 131 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 62.4 QBR, and 111.4 passer rating. So he wasn't even that bad, but he was just rusty. Not a lot of passing as the receivers were reading books, A.J. Brown. Saquon took most of the load, 25 carries, 119 yards. Could have had more and a touchdown, but he slid, which I'm cool with. A lot of people are saying, like, why did you do that? Why would you do that? I mean, yeah, he could have had more yards and stuff, but he just wanted to win, and he wanted to hurry up and win it now. So it's not that big of a deal, bro. It's not that big of a deal. They won, so it didn't matter. Green Bay defense, they had 2 sacks, 5 QB hits. I think the DBs, Nixon, David McKinney, did well in covering the wide receivers, which made Jalen a bit hesitant. The QB for Green Bay was pretty horrid, though, okay? Jordan Love, 20 out of 33, 212 yards, 0 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 37.3 QBR, and a passer rating of 41.5. That last interception, it was a desperation throw, okay? So I'm not gonna get him. I'm not gonna get on him that bad. We're down, that's a fuck it throw. We're down. Let's try to hit the end zone. We got to do some, but the other two, give credit to Darius Slay on that first interception, bro. He ran the route with Wicks, Devontae Wicks, the whole way, and then turned his head and caught it. The second interception, threw it right to Zach Bond, so that's no excuse there. He did lose Dobbs, then Jaden Reed, and then Elton Jenkins with Reed. So, that's not, a few injuries that he had. And then Jaden Reed being the main dude with 4 catches, but they ain't throw those picks. Jordan loved it. Jacobs was a standalone. Josh Jacobs, 18 carries, 81 yards, and 1 touchdown. Was the one carrying the Packers? Oh, it just wasn't enough. Philly's D showed why they are number 1 statistically in the NFL. 2 sacks, 5 QB hits. They pressured Jordan a lot. Nolan Smith, 8 tackles, 2 sacks. Zach Bond had 8 tackles, 1 pick. Both of them stood out to me, especially Nolan. He injured Jenkins, Elton Jenkins, like thumping his head on his arm or something. That was weird. But he was everywhere, Nolan Smith, causing havoc. The Georgia prodigy. He was just all over the field, and he really stood out to me in this game. He just didn't come off my TV, man. He was just everywhere, so that was cool. Overall, I think just a little bit rusty from the Eagles' offense, and the Eagles' defense showed why they're number 1, and they can carry them. Seen fans talking about, and in the media, that they're saying that the media wants to kill Jalen Hurts in a win, but save Herbert in his worst performance, which I can see. Like, they did talk more about Jalen Hurts struggling than Justin Herbert having a shit performance. And I did see that. But I'm just saying, like, y'all ain't see that on me. Okay, you see, bro, I was saying that Herbert played a shit game, and I'm over here saying, Jalen kind of deserves a pass. So, no, ain't for me. Allen Hines ain't going to take it like it is, bro. That's not even what I'm saying because I think the fans are going to say that, or I've seen that y'all are saying that. I'm saying from what I was seeing on my TV here in Stockton, California. Okay, that's what I'm saying. And I think that's what happened, bro. Justin played not well at all. And Jalen Hurts played rusty, but we gave him a pass. Because they won, so we gave him a pass. Actually, not because they won, Not because they won. But because, he just got from concussion protocol like I'm talking about. He just got in the game. He's not going to have the same excuse next week for the divisional. He better perform in the divisional or they're going to eliminate it. But we switch on now to the Bucks versus the Commanders, bro. As the Commies won 23-20, guys. I got a score prediction right, bro. Finally. I think it's the first time I actually get a score correct ever, like predicting these games. Because it's so hard, bro. Like, obviously, you get the teams right. Like, you say, like I said the other teams are going to win. I said Baltimore is going to win, right? But I didn't get the score. And I said the Eagles were going to win, but I didn't get the score. See, this one I got the score. These are hard to predict, bro. So I'm patting myself on the back, okay? These are very hard to predict. Mostly no one ever gets them. It's very rare. And I finally got one, so I'm going to pat myself in the back. But as soon as I saw that the Bucks, hit a field goal to make it 20-20 with 4 minutes left, I was like, Zane Gonzalez, bro, he's going to hit the field goal to win. And I'm going to be correct. And he hit the upright and it curved in. I was like, bro, I got one. And what I get most from this is that Jaden Daniels is legit. 24 out of 35 passing, 268 passing yards, 80.3 QBR, and 110 pass rating. Dude, this dude was magnificent, man. The only error that I can vividly remember him is that on the 3rd and goal before the Bucks fumble, before Baker Mayfield had the fumble, he has his tight end John Bates open, but he holds on to the ball for I don't know what reason why, and he just waits for Brian Robinson to get more on in the flat or more on the pylon, but he missed him. But John Bates was wide open. I don't know why he didn't pass it there. He was just hesitant. No idea why. I don't know if he talked about it after the game, but he just didn't pass it. And that was the only time that I recall other than that I was like, why this fool missed. But other than that, he converted 3 out of 5 fourth downs. Converted and ran for on 4th down to produce the game-winning drive for Zane Gonzalez to kick it, to win the game. Threw darts to Eckler and Terry on that drive. Bro, we have seen veteran quarterbacks struggle in these playoffs, in these pressure scenarios, and a rookie did this on this stage. Damn. Bro, he was the leading rusher for the Commanders with 13 carries, 36 yards. Scary Terry and De'Ami Brown were his main targets, catching 12 passes, 178 yards, and 2 touchdowns between them. The Bucs defense was struggling to contain him, only sacking him once. Jamel Dean was matched with Terry, and they were going back and forth then. Jamel Dean, he got injured, and Josh Hayes got in there, and Terry was cooking him for a bit till they started double-teaming him. But you know who did get cooked majority of the game? Marshawn Lattimore by his nemesis, Mike Evans. They were matching up majority of the game. Mike had 7 receptions on 7 targets, 92 yards, and a touchdown, which was on Lattimore. And then the play before that, he interfered with Evans. So, bro, Mike was cooking him. He was cooking him. His QB, Baker Mayfield, was giving him the ball. He finished 15 of 18, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 62.6 QBR. and a passer rating of 146.5. He also ran for 23 yards. He trucked Bobby Wagner, of all guys. Like, bro, who trucks Bobby Wagner? So the strength of Baker. Bucky Irving had 17 carries, 77 yards. The Commanders' defense, they were all right. 1 sack, 2 QB hits, but they produced stops, and then they capitalized on turnovers when needed to. The Baker fumble, even though that was more on Baker, and the missed time snap on third down that got him the field goal when they probably could have got a touchdown. So they were doing what they had to do, the defense. Overall, though, I know Commies were going to win. They're just a better team. They've turned it around with the new ownership of Josh Harris and Magic Johnson, Dan Quinn, the head coach, Adam Peters, the general manager, and most of all, the quarterback, Jaden Daniels, bro. A rookie who is 24 years old, who has played 5 years in college, and I think that's where the league is going now. The league is going to these QBs who have a ton of experience, a ton of reps. They just transition better and quicker into the NFL. Both offensive rookie player of the years. What did I just say? Both offensive rookie of the years. Player of the years. Okay. Yes. Let me say that again, bro. I don't know what's going on. Both offensive rookie player. I'll just say offensive rookies of the years, okay? Both of them are quarterbacks that have come like 5 or 6 years in college. Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix. And they transition to the NFL quick. See, these are the type of players. And it makes sense because at the end of the day, football's football. So if you have a lot of reps, you have a lot of experience in something, when you transition to something else, you already know it. So it's just going to come quicker and faster, and you're going to be more experienced. So it makes a lot of sense, and I think that's where NFL is going to go now. They're going to want these QBs who have a ton of reps in college. So, and it makes more sense because then we see people like Trey Lance. Like, he didn't play a lot of college and high school, so then when it comes to the NFL, he struggles a lot. Like, not just the throws, but like the mental aspect of the game, of where you're supposed to go, how you're supposed to do this, how you're supposed to go with this read. If the safety does this, where do you go? Like, you just struggle. Like Brock Purdy, bro. He came in quick. He was a full 4-year starter at Iowa State. So it's just, I think that's where they're going with now, and it makes a lot of sense. But props to Jaden Daniels, bro. He's legit. He do what he gotta do. The last game of wildcard weekend was the Vikings and the Rams, as the Vikes won. I'm talking about. The Rams won. Sorry, guys. The Rams won 27-9. Not what I expected from the Vikings. The Rams just annihilated the Vikings, especially on defense. Sam Darnold was flustered by the Rams blitz and the standard rush. Sacked 9 times for a record of 82 yards. O-line was overwhelmed. The Vikings O-line was overwhelmed for sure. Chris Shula, defensive coordinator for the Rams, got the game plan from Aaron Glenn in the last game, in the Week 18 game, because they blitzed and hurried the fuck out of Darnold the whole game. That had him panicking, and he held onto the ball a bunch, and he just never ran. Like, he just never thought of running or going to the side. Like, he would just stay there. He always had a few opportunities where he had enough time to just throw away the ball, and he just stood there, like, waiting for a read to get open. Like, at that point, bro, you just got to throw it. You just got to throw it. I think he was just being desperate and trying to want something. But, like, bro, you got to keep your team in the game, because we're going to talk about, he kept the ball too long, so then he gets a fumble and they get a scoop and score. So, it didn't work out. But, back to the Rams defense, Chris Shula had cornerback blitzes where the other Kobe Bryant, and Anelka Witherspoon got to him, and the D-line, like I was saying, Verse and Young, they were just getting after him by having that scoop and score touchdown when Darnold fumbled. Kobe also had an interception. He ran the route for Jordan Addison. Just a dominant performance by the Rams unit. Darnold, continuing about him, he finished 25 of 40, 245 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 13 QBR, 77.6 passer rating, and a fumble. Not a great day for him at all. He ran for 106 yards. The whole offense did. with Jones having the whole offense of the Vikings had 106 yards. Jones, he had 48 yards, and Jay Jettas and Hawkinson, they had 10 catches between them. I thought the Vikings D would come up huge this game, and they were okay. First, it was like a chess match, bro. Like I remember the first drive of the Rams, Brian Flores, the DC for the Vikings, he's getting way too many looks, and then Stafford was changing the play, and then the defense audible to an audible. So he got to that audible. So so then Stafford called a timeout. And I was like, what's going on, right? It was like, oh, they're going to overwhelm him. But then Stafford and the Rams, they figured out connecting on the hook routes in between the numbers where there was a lot of space for the receivers to exploit. The Vikings defense had 2 sacks and 5 QB hits. There's a lot of 2 sacks, 5 QB hits in the wild card weekend this year. That was weird. Just a funny stat. But it was like, bro, I think all the teams had one. But Stafford got it rolling, 19-27, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. 72.5 QBR, 117.7 passer rating. Higbee and Nakua combined for 10 catches, 106 yards. Kyron Williams had 16 carries, 76 yards, and a receiving touchdown. Overall, man, I thought Rams defense showed up, and the Vikings defense didn't. I expected more from the Vikings, from Jonathan Grenard, Van Ginkel, Byron Murphy, Stephon Gilmore, but then I guess when your offense is pretty abysmal, like the O-line and Sam Darnold were, it's only so much you can do. So, that sucks. That sucks for them. As for my predictions, overall, I went 4-6. Not bad. So, the Chargers won, I lost, and the Vikings won, I lost. But the rest of them I got right. So, not bad. Let's see. Let's try to improve in the divisional. Texans at number 4 seeded Texans at the number 1 seeded Chiefs. Bro, KC's going to win, bro. Kansas City's going to win 26-17. And they're going to win because they're Kansas City. Okay? They're a better team. They can beat Garbo for 4 quarters and a half. And then the last 5 minutes of the game, Patrick Mahomes is going to pull something out of his ass and they're going to win. Okay? So that's what's going to happen. Okay? Their defense... And it helps that their defense is also good under Spagnuolo. Got Chris Jones. Still got Nick Bolton. Got Trent McDuffie, who's one of the best cornerbacks in the game. So that helps. And I think it's going to be a similar game to their matchup in Week 16. Houston will be competitive, but KC, they're just better overall anyways. And I expect Patrick Mahomes to pull something out of his butt and win. That's going to happen, bro. It's just going to happen. The Commanders. 6-seeded Commanders at the number 1 Lions. I think the Lions are going to win 30-26. It's going to be a close game. I think the commies with Jaden is going to give them a game. It's going to give them a chance. But the clutch Lions, they're going to get a game-winning touchdown, and they move on to the NFC Championship game. It's going to be an exciting game, okay? I know both Campbell and Quinn will go for it on fourth down. That's what they do. So there's going to be fireworks everywhere. Interested to see how... Aaron Glenn is going to attack Jaden Daniels since his mobility. Because, the Lions, they like to blitz, especially with all the injuries they've had. They got to get pressure up front. So how frequently will Aaron Glenn blitz? Or will he even blitz at all? Maybe he just goes forefront. I don't think so because the Lions need to generate pressure. But maybe, I don't know. How frequently will he blitz? Will he blitz in different packages? I don't know. That's what I want to see. Because, last week... Who was this? Last week it was with the Vikings. Sam Darnold don't move. Jaden Daniels moves, as we've seen. So I'm very intrigued to see how that goes. Lions are just better. I think they've been the best team in the NFL, in my opinion, this year. And they're going to continue to roll. Some of their injured players are coming back. We saw, how that makes a difference as Anzalone came back and he contributed to in the Vikings win. when they beat the Vikings. Lions, they're going to find a way to win. And the Commanders are in a win-win, though. They got nothing to lose. That's why I think it's going to be a good game. They got nothing to lose. Like, if they lose, bro, who cares? You lost to the Lions, bro. Like, look how far you've come. You were just 4-13 last year, and now this year you're in the divisional against the Lions. So, if you lose, who cares? And if you win, you beat the Lions. Like, so win-win. They're going to play for there's nothing to lose. They're going to go out there. It's going to be a good game. Rams at Eagles. 4 Rams versus at the 2-seeded Eagles. I think Philly wins 27-23. It will be closer than their Week 12 matchup, as the Rams have been on a roll. I'm very intrigued to see the Eagles' O-line, which is Lane Johnson, Mailata, Dickerson, Juergens, Becton versus the Rams' defensive line, specifically with Turner, Jared Verse, Byron Young, Rose Boom, the two best lines going at it, right? Whoever wins the majority of this matchup will win the game. And obviously how well the Rams O-line holds up versus the Eagles defensive line, which is Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Josh Sweat, and Nolan Smith, and then Nakua and Cooper Kupp versus Mitchell, the rookie cornerback, and Slay. So it's going to be a fun matchup, a lot of fun matchups, but the one that intrigues me the most is the Eagles O-line versus the Rams young and defensive line. So we'll see how it rolls up. And then, questions. Will Jalen not look rusty? He better not. He better shake it off and look better. And if he does, bro, I think Philly going to win. They protect him. Philly's going to win. It's going to be good. So I think Philly wins 27-23. The Ravens at number 3 seeded Ravens versus the 2 seeded Bills. Baltimore wins. I'm going Baltimore win 34-31. I also think it will be a much closer matchup than their Week 4 win when the Ravens beat the Bills 35-10, and Henry just ran away with it. I still think Henry's going to have his yards this game, but Josh and co will respond earlier and more frequently to keep up with the Ravens. Okay, Buffalo to win. They're going to have to stop the run game. They're middle of the pack statistically versus the run game. And I mean, tough task, bro. Like, no one has been able to stop Henry and Lamar. If Henry gets the right amount of carries, like, bro, you just can't do it. And even if they do somehow stop it or contain it, Lamar, he can pass now, okay? He's a very good passer. He can slice and dice. He really added to it this year. Like, he's always been a good passer, but now he's an accurate passer, more accurate passer, a decisive passer. And that's what Lamar's added to his game this year. So it's going to be a tough task, bro. Either way, and I don't think they're going to stop him either way. So we know Baltimore can stop on the Baltimore defense side. They can stop and will stop James Cook. Okay, but so they're going to have to focus more on Josh Allen as a passer and as a runner. So I expect Josh to have a lot of the ball, and I think he's going to carry the Bills. I expect both offenses to flourish. So it's going to be high-scoring game, but I think Baltimore comes out on top 34-31 for a rematch versus the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game again, but this time in Kansas City. Thank y'all for listening to the episode. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Reach out to me for anything, bro. If you guys want to talk about football, bro, just hit me up at Allenizing. Hit me up there or on Threads, bro. Just hit me up anywhere, bro. Allenizing at your service. See y'all in the conference championship round.